can do that question. If someone, I've got my emails up, so if someone emails me still saying that they can't join, I will get onto them and try and help them out a bit. So exercise 11H1G was the one I started doing yesterday. Exercise 11H1G. So I will continue with, I'll start this one again. So it was the integral from 0 to pi of sine of x divided by 4 plus cos of pi divided by 4 dx. So I'm going to put brackets around that. Okay, someone's joined us. Don't know if that's on now. No. Okay, so that's what I started to do yesterday. So let me quickly work on this one. And I've shown you how I got the 4. And this was times negative, because when we integrate sine, we get negative cos of x divided by 4. Okay, I'm going to just wait and see what Alan's doing. This one comes on, try and get it. What's it coming up? No permission. What? No permission. Is that what you were getting, Nicole? No permission?
For my one, it wouldn't let me, like when I put the password in, it just kept saying wrong password, and then it just wouldn't work.
Let me get, you know what, and I wonder, hang on a second guys, I'm just going to stop this for a minute and stop the sharing, and I'm going to invite email Joseph. Someone's joined us. That's Chris. Okay, let me just go copy invite.
Hello.
Paste. Okay, let's see if he gets it now. All right, let me get rid of this and share it again. Okay, so I've just sent him the invite and hopefully he gets it, is able to get into it. Okay, so continuing with this one, this gives us 4 sine of x divided by 4 dx. Okay, so I'm going to take out 4 as a common factor, oops, between 0 and pi. So we get cos of x divided by 4 plus sine of x divided by 4 between 0 and pi by 4. So I get cos of pi over 4 plus sine of pi over 4 minus cos of 0 plus sine of 0, because when I put 0 divided by 4, we'll still get 0. I've got my 4. Cos of pi on 4 is 1 on the square root of 2. Sine of pi on 4 is 1 on the square root of 2. Minus cos of 0, which is, did I miss something? No. Yes. Okay, so Alan can't get in, poor thing. So I'll just respond to him saying yes, that I will be posting it online. Okay. So cos of 0 is, should be 1. Why have I got a negative there? What have I missed? Have I done something wrong here? Can anyone see it? Negative cos pi 4. I forgot my negative here. Negative here.
So the 4 is negative.
Here. No, I haven't taken the 4 out as a negative. No, I've only taken it as a positive 4. So that means my negative, that is here, must stay here, must stay here. And then, of course, it's going to be over here. So just fix that up, which means this is negative 1 on the square root of 2, plus my 1 on the square root of 2. This becomes negative 1 plus my 0.
Can you scroll down on the whiteboard because it's cut off?
It's blocked. How's that? Is that better?
No, I can't see the bottom of the. I can't see the bottom of the whiteboard because there's a grey thing blocking it.
So you can't see the last line that I've written?
Oh, I see it now.
So I'll write the last line again. Okay, so I'll write the last line over here. So I've got my 4. Negative. Cos of pi 4 is 1 on the square root of 2. Sine of pi 4 is 1 on the square root of 2. Minus. Negative. Cos of 0 is 1. Sine of 0 is 0. So I've got my 4 times these cancel. This becomes positive 1, so 4 times 1 is 4. Okay. So it's only one that just could not do that. Yesterday I also left you guys with 11G, question 4B and 4C. How did you guys go with those questions? 4B would probably have been okay. 4C might be, is it 4C? Sorry, 11H. 11H, not 11G, 11H. 4B and 4C. So how did you go with 11H, 4B? Did anyone trial it? So in other words, you guys want me to do it, right?
Figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I didn't do it.
Let me clear it. Let's do that one. Guys, you've got to try these questions when I set it up for you. All right, so 4B says differentiate, sorry, if f of x equals, let me just write this down. So this is exercise 11H 4B, f of x equals x squared log e of 2x. Remember, this is going to cut us out in 40 minutes, but you've got the second invitation in your Outlook calendar. Find f dash of x. So that's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to find the derivative. Now, this is a product. There's a times there. So I'll leave, excuse me, I'll leave the first one, x squared. I'll differentiate the second one, which is going to be 1 on x. Plus, differentiate the first one, so that's going to be 2x, and leave the second one, log e of 2x. I'm going to simplify it, of course, so that cancels with one of those. So I'm left with x plus 2x log e of 2x. That's what f dash of x equals. Then the next part says, hence find an integral. So the integral of x log e of 2x. So when we want the integral of x log e of 2x dx. And because it's got hence, it means use what we found. So we know this. And that's what we're going to use. And all I'm going to do there is to put integral signs. So the integral, dx, dx. I'm just integrating what I've just done. Now, when I integrate f dash of x, of course, I'm going to be left with f of x. and that's going to be the integral of x dx. I'm just splitting these two up, plus the integral of 2x log e of 2x dx. Is everyone happy there? F of x, I already know what f of x equals. It's up here. F of x equals x squared minus log e of 2x. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write there. So this actually equals x, that's all right, I'll leave it in read, x squared log e of 2x will equal the integral of x dx plus the integral of 2x log e of 2x dx. Now this is what I'm trying to find. Okay, and there it is. It's got a 2, but it's there. X log e 2x, it's there. So I am going to get rid of this. So I'm going to put it on the other side. Of course, it's going to be minus. Okay, so when I do that, I'm going to get x squared log e of 2x minus the integral of x with respect to x will equal, and I'm going to take out this 2 up the front, so 2 the integral of x log e of 2x dx. That 2 is just a constant, so I'm allowed to do that. Any questions so far? Okay. Well, to get rid of this 2, that's a times there. To get rid of it, I'm just going to bring it over the other side and half. So it's going to be half of everything. So I'm going to write this first. So the integral of x log e of 2x dx equals the x squared log e of 2x minus, I'm going to integrate this now, so add 1 to the power, so I'll get x squared, and of course divide by that, so there it is, x squared divided by 2. Oops, I forgot to do my 2, so I'm going to squeeze my 2 in here. I'll just try and rub this line out a bit. The 2 was there in front of it. I forgot my 2 there. And now I'll write the whole thing. So the integral, I'm just of x log e of 2x dx equals, just to give me space, x squared log e of 2x. Now I can write it as divide by 2, or I can write it as x squared divided by 2, or I can just write it as a half at the front. It's up to you how you want to write it. Minus, I've also got to divide this one here by 2. So I'm going to get x squared, and it's not going to be divided by 2 anymore, because remember it's going to have another divide by 2, so it's going to be divided by 4. So there's my answer. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Can I clear this? All right, now we're going to do for C. That is the harder one. So I might need to cut a little bit out as I'm going. And so that, or else I probably won't fit it in. 11H4C. And the first part says, find derivatives of both of these. Okay, so let's do the first one. So d dx of x plus the square root of 1 plus x squared dx. Okay, I'm just going to rub that out and write, instead of a square root, I'm going to put brackets around that 1 plus x squared and write it as a half. Okay, just to save myself a little bit of paper. So 1 plus x squared to the power of a half. And I'm going to differentiate that now, and there's two. So the first one, I'm going to differentiate the x. When I differentiate the x, I get 1. Now I need to differentiate this part here. Okay, so I'll do that in red. So differentiating inside the bracket gives me my 2x. I'm going to times that by the power, because I've got to differentiate the power. And when I take away 1 from the power, I get -1/2. So the bracket is still there, but to the power of -1/2. And now I'm going to simplify it, because I know that and that will cancel. So my final answer for this one is 1 plus x, 1 plus x squared to the -1/2. Of course, you can put it in the denominator and write x divided by 1 plus x squared to the +1/2. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm going to do the next one. And the next one is d dx of log e of x plus the square root of 1 plus x squared, which again I'm just going to write of 1/2. Okay. So differentiating this one here. So first of all, I'm going to worry about the log. Hang on a second, let's just have a look at this. Hang on a second. We've got this is what we've just done over here. Okay. Join in again, Jaden. Sorry, let me just answer Jaden. Okay. Come back in. Come back in, Jaden. All right. So really, I'm going to treat this as just log e of a letter. Let's call it p, log e of p. Okay, so when I do that, I'm really going to do log e of p becomes 1 divided by that p. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 1 divided by, and I'm giving myself room because remember, I have to differentiate inside this red bit here that I just did. And that red bit is differentiated to that. Okay, so maybe I'll write that first. So that's what I'll do first. So I'm going to use that information that this is already differentiated, because remember, when I do a derivative of log e of something, I've got to differentiate that something, and there's my answer. So I'm going to write 1 plus x divided by 1 plus x squared to the power of +1/2. Okay. That's the inside the bracket. Now I've got to do the 1 divided by for my log. 1 divided by my bracket, x plus 1 plus x squared all to the power of 1/2. Does that make sense to people what I've done there? Okay, this part in red I can only add, of course, if this is the same denominator. So I'm going to times that 1 by the 1 plus x squared. So I'm going to leave it in red. So 1 plus x squared to the power of 1/2 plus my x, all divided by 1 plus x squared to the power of 1/2 times my blue one. Now look, these can cancel. That and that cancels. It leaves me with 1 divided by 1 plus x squared to the power of 1/2. So there's that one there. So make sure you write it down, because I have to clear this for me to finish the rest of it off. That was only doing the derivatives of these two functions. Any questions on it? Okay, I'll clear it in 10 unless someone tells me not to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now, the second part of it says, by simplifying your last result, if necessary, evaluate. So evaluate the integral from 0 to 1. I better write smaller. Evaluate the integral from 0 to 1 of 1 divided by 1 plus x squared, the square root of that, I'm just going to do it as 1 plus x squared to the half dx. So that's what we've got to do. Now we're going to use our above answers, okay, because we know that when we integrate, I know the integral from 0 to 1 is there. I'm just going to keep it in and write it in there for all of them. This will equal the integral how am I going to show that to you? This will equal the log e of our x plus the square root of 1 plus x squared between 0 and 1. Why? Because remember, when we differentiated this, right, the derivative of that, we ended up getting 1 divided by 1 plus x squared. That's what we ended up getting, and that's what we're looking for. So if we integrate this, we're going to be back to that. So integrating this will give me back to that. Any questions there? Okay. Now it's a matter of just putting in our 1 and then our 0. So we've got log e 1 plus the square root. 1 squared is 1 plus 1, 2, so square root of 2, minus log e of 0 plus the square root of 1. Okay, which gives me log e of 1 plus the square root of 2 minus square root of 1 is 1 plus 0 is still 1, a log e of 1. Now, what can you tell me about log e of 1?
It equals 1.
It does not equal 1. That's what everyone says.
Equals 0.
It equals
It
0.
equals 0. Log e of 1 equals 0. So really, there's our answer. Okay. So this is log e of 1 plus the square root of 2. And that's using the knowledge that of the previous two that we differentiated. Okay, I believe I have answered all the questions that you have had. So, do you have any others on this chapter? All right, since I've got the majority,
11H1H.
11H1,
H.
1H, so I'll clear this in about
Yes.
10 seconds, 11H1H. Exercise
Question 13 from the chapter review.
1H, okay. Chapter review, question 13. All right. Now remember, please, we're about to run out of time in about 10 minutes. That's fine. That will get us to the end, and then we'll just hook up using the other period 5 meeting. I will be setting a test for you guys. I've got majority of you on this week sometime. We're going to be hearing from VCAA about the SACs. I believe the SACs will continue, but not as we would have normally done them in class. We're just waiting to hear whether we will be doing them at school or whether we have to do them online. Okay, so we'll plan something when we know which way we've got to do them.
So
let me-
if we have to do them online, will it still be like a 6-period SAC or methods?
No, I don't think we'll be able to give you that something that big. It's just going to be too big. They have said we can make it easier. So I plan to make it easier. I'm hoping that everyone will agree with me, but that's what I plan. Okay, so, but we'll wait and see what happens with them. So this is exercise 11H1H exercise. 11H1H. And please make sure you do the chapter review so that I won't really get into chapter 1, but chapter 1 should be stuff that you do, because we'll do, for anything we'll do one exercise, but really the chapter review, be ready for your test, and we'll set the test for probably next week sometime, which you can do in your own time though. Okay, so we'll just keep doing these questions. So 1H, but I still haven't spoken to the others, so I'm only telling you what I think. Haven't I done 1H? Have I done 1H before? No, maybe not.
Did 1G, not 1H.
Okay. 5x plus sine 2x dx. Okay, well, let's integrate the 5x. So when we integrate the 5x, we should get 5x squared divided by 2. Yeah, that's positive. I think I've done this one. Or maybe I started and I did the wrong one. It doesn't matter. Okay. Integrate sine. So when we differentiate sine, we get positive cos. So when we integrate it, we're going to get a negative. So there's my negative. Okay, differentiate this is 2. So again, we get 1 divided by 2 cos of 2x between pi on 2 and 0. So I end up getting 5. Oops. 5 times pi on 2 squared. So pi squared divided by 4. And we've got it divided by 2. So I'll just go times 1 on 2. Minus a half cos 2 times pi on 2 is pi. Minus 5 times 0 squared, well, that's going to be 0 minus a half cos 0. Okay, this becomes 5 pi squared divided by 8. Cos of pi, okay, pi is over here, that is 1 and 0. Cos is the x, which is 1. So this is a half times 1, so this is minus a half. Okay, cos of 0, oops, that's minus 1, so this becomes plus, because cos of pi is negative 1. That's plus a half. Cos of 0 is 1, so that will be negative a half times 1 is negative a half, and the negative becomes positive a half. So I've got 5 pi squared divided by 8 plus 1. Okay, anyone know what the answer is? 11H, 1H. 5 pi squared divided by 8 plus 1. 5 pi squared divided by 8 plus 1. There we go, that's that one there. Any questions on that one?
Wait, is that just the answer?
That's the answer?
Pi squared over 8 plus 1?
Yep,
Okay.
that's the answer. Chapter review, question 13. How much time do we have? 4 minutes. Now what, we'll take a break because I'm no point starting that question. We've got 4 minutes to go, and at 12:29, I'll come on at 12:30. So that gives you 10 minutes because there's only 4 minutes left in this session. Okay, so 12:30, I'll log on. You guys should already be logged on. Okay, is that okay for everyone?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.